Welcome back, everybody. It's tractorchute here for Game 3 of this beautiful Labor Day long weekend. In the upper left-hand corner, we are playing the same map that we just seen one more time. Why not? In the upper left-hand corner, it is KeyserSoze playing as the Red Terran. In the lower right-hand corner, it is Kaximvela. Kaximvela will be playing as our Blue Zerg. In the bottom right-hand corner, it is going to be another TVZ game. Should be very interesting. Both these guys are fairly decent players. As you do see, we do have the 47-5. That's how you know you're good, is when your APM is at 5. Very well done. Let's speed that up there, up to 6. So we are not looking too shabby this early in the game. We'll take a look at our good old proto tab here, which we'll see ourselves just on the standard. I would have to imagine drones, SCVs, and overlords coming. Do get the standard wall off happening, as you should see pretty much 99% of the Z versus T game. And we'll get the scouting SCV heading out pretty early here, fairly early for a scout. But either way, you can scout whenever you wish, I guess, there. And that SCV will slowly get across the map. Meanwhile, the opponent is flying his overlord across the map as well. No sort of cheese going down. There's no 6 pool, nothing cheesy like that. Might see a proxy barracks, maybe. That's the only other cheese you might see out of that. Should be a fairly standard game by the looks of it so far. So that SCV will slowly get across the map here. He's getting a, very interesting second SCV coming to scout too. So maybe we will see a bit of cheese here. So very interesting here. Oh, he is looking to put down the engineering bay. Pretty standard to delay a hatch. So engineering bay will end up going down there. He'll build that to about the halfway point, and then he'll end up getting out there, leaving that to delay the hatch first, which is exactly what's happening. So he does get down there, does see it is there. He's a little pissed off, so that drone will go to work, try and take that out slowly as he can. He's actually pulling a lot off the line to go take it out. Wowzer. I don't know, man. That's to each their own, but I think that's way too many drones to pull off the line to take that out. Oh, he did pull some back. Thank goodness. I was going to say a little bit of overkill, but either way there, he will get right back to mining there, and they will go to work, take out that engineering bay, and they do so right away, and then that hatchery will go down shortly after. In the meantime here, he hasn't really done a whole heck of a lot. Wow, KeyserSoze still sitting on the one supply depot. Didn't really build anything outside of that. So a little bit behind as far as the micro goes. If we take a look at our good old APM tab one more time, you will say 6139. So actually not too bad on the micro game, if you ask me. Just that one engineering bay in production, I do see. Oh, did he get it delayed before that hatch went down? Wow, what happened, buddy? Kaximvela, a little bit slow on getting the hatch down. So very interesting. I think that he might have actually planted the spawning pool instead, which delayed the hatch a bit. I'm not too sure. He did have it going down. But in the meantime, we are getting maybe a little bit of cheese or a hidden expansion. Maybe cheese, actually, because that hidden expansion's in a very bad spot. You'll have to fly it and put it in a proper location. But either way, we are getting the command center at the other end of the map here. Does he actually have a finished engineering bay? Not as of yet. So probably not a planetary fortress drop. But either way, I'm very keen to see what he's going to elect to do with this command center. In the meantime, his opponent, I don't believe, has scouted it at all here. He is way over here taking a look at his vision. No, he's not scouted at all. So we will set ourselves on 2 gas to start this game off here. Standard wall off finishing up. Take a look at the good old units tab here. Actually, I am very curious here. I gotta watch this, but take a look at the units tab here. We don't have anything on the map for offensive units, just the 4 overlords, 20 drones to the 18 SCVs, and that is slowly going to finish up, as is this hatchery over here, and the spawning pool is finally out of the map, so we will look to see some dogs fairly shortly, I would have to imagine. None as of yet, but they will be here fairly quickly here. Overlord is floating across the main area of his Terran opponent. Terran opponent should look to spit a marine out pretty quick. And there we go. It is an engineering base, so it is a planetary fortress drop. That is really the only other time you will ever see the command center built together in the map. So very interesting. We are getting the cheese I was hoping for. And honestly, I did not watch this before. I was just kind of hoping we'd see some cheese. We'll get it dropped in time before that creep spread gets there. So very well done. And here you're going to see a planetary very quickly. And there it goes. It's starting to go up here. Opponent is going to build himself down a spine core, but at the same time, not going to be enough to deal with this planetary. I'm not too sure if it has more range than a planetary, so I'm very interested to see that. In the meantime there, he's heading out all his repairing SCV, so very smartly done there. Second spine core going down as well. Does have 1 repairing SCV there, but that's not going to be enough, especially with those 2 dogs. It's slowly going to get done here. Should be done very shortly, well before anything gets down here to take it out. But they do have quite a few units down here, but at the same time, it is going to finish up, and it is just going to go to work on all these units. There we go. It's done. Dogs go down 1 and 2. Queens left over. Repairing SCVs end up getting in there. So this is not going to go overly well for our good man Kaximvela. This could be big trouble. Going to keep him down to one base for now. And actually, yes, it does have the range to hit that. So there you go. It can actually keep the same range as what a spine core has. So it's going to go to work on that spine core. Of course, as a Zerg, you can't repair the spine core, so that kind of sucks for you. And there we go. We're going to start going to work on those SCVs. And I'm not too sure if he doesn't want to get the splash damage. There we go. Does end up taking out the other dogs there. So you'll go to work on the last spine car here. Lots of dogs coming out. Don't know if he's going to have enough, though. Other spine car goes down. He's going to go to work on the hatchery very quickly here. Keeping him on 2 base. He should really look to drop an expansion somewhere else in the meantime and maybe let this fall instead of wasting money on more spine cars. I'm not too sure. It's really your call. But at the same time, I would look to get your base planted somewhere else. Probably be a pretty good idea. But in the meantime there, he's trying to accumulate enough dogs. Of course, dogs won't do it to a planetary, especially with the repairing SCVs. So he's trying to think what to do here. I think he's kind of pondering what his options are. I would really like to see him knock these rocks down, get an expansion down here in the meantime, while his opponent pays all this attention up here. But he's going in with the dogs. Oh, dogs get a big hit there. That wasn't good at all there. Get hit pretty good. Has a lot of SCVs sitting inside that planetary, making sure they keep well hidden, especially at the range of these spine cores that continue to drop down. Does take that one out quite easily. Queen's trying to go in there. Queen's going to end up, don't want to lose your queens. Try not to lose your queens anyways. So more spine cores trying to plant themselves. Dogs are trying to come in at the same time, trying to distract the planetary. But I don't know if it's enough, just because the planetary will melt those dogs, especially when they're bunched up like that. You can't bunch your dogs up like that, son. That didn't go overly well. So now these spine cores are going to end up going down. It's just so much money being wasted at the other end. Meanwhile, his opponent sitting here, good old KeyserSoze, he's able to macro up big time, saving all his money. Opponent's wasting all his money on spine cars. I think he's just got to let that hatchery fall. Just not a good idea to keep it up and running. Needs to be expanded down here, but at the same time, he's just gonna let her go. I think this isn't good at all. Is that a macro hatch? Yes, it is a macro hatch. So why not? He's gonna go back on hatch and try and get into a baneling type build here. So it might work out for him, but I just don't think so. So there we go. This is pretty much a lost cause, that entire area. So now he's going to go right. He's actually going to do this on one base. Has no intention of expanding. So very interesting here. He needs to pull these drones. Get those drones back, son. Please don't let him go back to mining. But either way, I do think they'll avoid the planetary fire at the same time as by going around the outside. Yes, they will. So very, very lucky there. But in the meantime, KeyserSoze has himself out with a 1 factory. He's getting into a tank build, only sitting on the 1 barracks. A little bit surprising on that. Really wasn't macroing up on the SCVs in the meantime, but is going to drop a turret down in the background here. And those dogs end up chasing down, or actually ended up losing a dog, as you can do see it burnt to a crisp at the bottom. Queen's kind of sitting there thinking, how the hell do I get back to my main base? And he will find he is actually dropping creep spread. Oh, dude, stay away from the planetary. Oh, knocks another queen down. That wasn't good at all here. SCVs are going to work on all these long-distance mining drones. In the meantime here, I don't know if he can do this off 2 base, to be honest with you. He doesn't care, though. He's going right to layer technology. Could be looking to go into a muta build here. No, he's actually dropping a roach horn as well, so I'm very curious. Either that or he's doing a lot of wasted minerals. He needs to go one direction, and opponent's actually going to mine off of this. So opponent's just going to go to work off this. So very well done by KeyserSoze so far. Is going to give himself another spy table as he is supply block. Take a look at our APM tab. It is 77.44, so not that bad on the APM count. So we're going to sit back and relax for a bit until somebody figures out what they want to do. But KeyserSoze is sitting pretty comfortable right now, especially being able to mine off that. Opponent sitting on 1 base with a macro hatch. It's going to be very tough for him to do so. And just the roach horn. So don't have anything else coming out yet, but he is planning down a lot of spine crawlers. So very well done there. And we are actually getting ourselves a second evil chamber for upgrades. So very curious what he wants to do. It is tough to do mutas off of 1 base, but at the same time, they might be a fairly good option. Look, we are actually going to continue with the baneling. So he did get the baneling nest and is actually going to push forward with it. So he's going to put out 7 banelings and 14 dogs on the map. Let's see what he likes to do with these, because it is going to be tough to get outside the base. So he will have to go through the rocks, obviously, as he will never get through the planetary without losing quite a bit of dogs. Unless, of course, he can squeak right out there, which would be very, very close. But we'll probably get shot at if he does so. So we'll sit back here as he does get himself a couple more queens. So maybe he's going to hefty queens. He's got them all set to go way down. Oh, okay, set him in the back to try and take out the working SCVs there. Maybe they're preparing for mutas as he is planning down turrets left, right, and center. So very interesting type idea there. A lot of spine crawlers sitting on the map. So I'm kind of curious, very curious actually, to see what he's going to elect to do. Infestation pit did go down, so he might be looking to drop some swarm hosts in here. Would be actually a pretty decent idea if he elects to do so. Nothing as of yet. So very, very curious to see if swarm hosts are going to be an option, because they could look at attacking that planetary and be very annoying. He is actually going to put down a proper command center here. So he's expanding right into his opponent's natural properly. Well done. Spinecrawlers do kind of see that. They're trying to get out as far as they can. And with that upper ground, Spinecrawlers seem to have the longest tentacle in the world. So we'll soon find out whether or not they can actually reach anything. They might be able to reach the corner SCV. We'll soon find out. So they are all planted down at the top of the map here. He's going to also put himself a barracks down in his opponent's base. So really getting cocky as KeyserSoze, but at the same time, he is down in food count. Hasn't really been building that much of an army. Just has the 1 tank and the 6 Marines on the map. There's the Queen trying to push that creep spread out so he can get these spine crawlers further and further down the ramp. So we'll probably just sit back, relax for a little bit until our good man Kaximvela gets himself an army that he's comfortable with moving out of the base. At the same time, there is no comfortable army to attack a planetary, especially when you can't surround it. Just to put the barracks right there was very, very smartly done. Having the turrets around it as well was very smart too. So he just continued the macro the heck out of this, sitting on 2 base. 2 base to the 1 set of mineral patches there will easily saturate that fairly quick. So he is going to elect to use the barracks as an actual scouting device. So there we go. We'll scout our way in here. Of course, he's got nothing to attack the air other than the queens. And he's very curious probably to see whether or not his opponent has gone into a muta type build maybe. Is getting the upgrade for the roaches. Is continuing to get all his upgrades for the good old range as well here. So we'll probably sit back for a little bit, determine what Kaximvela wants to do. It is a tough choice. You know, when you're in this spot and you're this far down, and now your opponent's building 4 barracks in your base, which is all basically surrounding that planetary, it's a really tough call on how you want to engage this. And apparently he just wants to go head on, but that's not the best idea. Way too many barracks guarding this here. He's going to lose most of this army to the planetary. Don't attack like this. All those repairing SCVs. Oh, but the Banelings are going to come in to try and take them out. No, they don't take anything out. In fact, they'd blow them all up. No. Oh, please tell me I didn't see that. That was not good at all. Poor choice of engagement. Kill these rocks, son. Please, they're right here. I think that's his only way out of the base is the only reason. I'm not saying if I was in his situation, I could get out of this. I'm just saying I would probably go this way. And he actually floated him over here to make sure that there was an expansion. So very smartly done by KeyserSoze. I will say that much anyways. He could also finally get the spine crawlers down here. Might be an option, as he doesn't really have much that he can do about it. Does take out the working SCV. Does take out these simulators. So very well done there. Or the refinery, sorry. Guess you can't build the simulators as a Terran. 20 roaches on the map. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing the spine crawler try and sneak into there. It'd be a very good location for it, as well as we don't have any units here, but does actually have himself down a sensor tower as well, just to make sure he knows exactly where that army is and where they're trying to move out to. So we'll sit back and relax for a little bit here. He's going to plant down a couple more spine crawlers as well. Did he elect to get himself into a spire? Not as of yet. So very interesting here. But like I say, spire on 1 base, but you have 1,400 or so. You don't have 40. You only have 300. Your opponent has 1,400 gas. I was going to say, if you have 1,400, maybe it's an idea here. KeyserSoze sitting with a little bit of a Marine army down here as well. Has himself 2,300 minerals. I'm not too sure why. Just start pumping the crap out of your Marines and force your opponent down into you. Or at least keep him on 1 base the entire game is also a fairly decent maneuver. Has a lot of overlords sitting in the back. Nobody's scouting down at the other end. Not there's a lot happening down here. He's more paying attention to his base that's sitting in your base. Planetary goes down there as well. Wow, so 2 planetaries. That is basically unengageable with the ground army. I will say that much. And still is not elected to do anything. I'm still not sure why we haven't snuck our way down into our actual other natural base. But either way, to each their own, my good man, Kaximvela. You are sitting on 2-1 for upgrades. Finally, the spine crawlers move down, but are they in range? Oh, no. Here we go. One of them is in range at least here, so the planetary is just going to go to work on it. This isn't good. He's actually going to try to engage this army. Don't know if this is the best of ideas. There's all the repairing SCVs. There's the spine crawlers going to work. Lots of roaches are going down. Trying to get them to repair each one of these. This is great big trouble. Spine crawlers are going to work more or less on the barracks. Losing a lot of these roaches here. At the same time, believe it or not, KeyserSoze is down in food count, which is unbelievable to me. But either way, they get enough repairing SCVs. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is, of course, there. So, and the spine crawlers, they'll slowly go down 1 by 1 here, and then that'll pretty much be it for that attack one more time. So, like I say, not the best of engagement. Did take out a couple barracks if you want to give them a benefit there. But KeyserSoze, you need to build an army, my good man. And they're going to try to go to work on the unrepaired planetary. That didn't work out so well either. Well, let's rinse and repeat. What are you going to do this time? He is finally giving up. Oh, Kaximvela, I tell you, son. Like I said, I couldn't have done any better in your situation, but I would have at least went over and expanded over here nice and early when I said to. But either way, to each their own. You're probably a better player than I am. My congrats go out to you, KeyserSoze. My condolences to you, Kaximvela. I leave you with this. Don't fly on a plane when cars are on the ground, or you can dig your way to China. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.